West Shore Home High School Hoops, presented by Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, brings us to Garner, North Carolina, and the regular season finale of men's basketball. Tonight, we're in the Greater News Conference for first versus second duel. The regular season conference champion Garner Trojans and the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs. Good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to the final regular season version of High School Hoops. Patrick Keenis alongside ECU standout Jay Sonhalter. And Jay, the temperatures ratcheting up in this gymnasium. Packed house. Garner has lost only 3 times this year, just once within league play. They've already clinched the regular season championship, and Southeast Raleigh winners of 6 in a row. They're going to finish second to Garner, but playing their best basketball this season right now.
Yeah, and each team is very young, so it's really been a young team that's carried each side to outstanding seasons. And for Garner, this is a group that's going to honor the seniors tonight, but those sophomores can shoot it from the outside at a high level. And then Southeast Raleigh is a great defensive team that's been on a roll.
All right, well, let's now take a look at some of the key players that we'll be watching tonight. There's a great deal of familiarity between these two programs.
Yeah, a lot of relationships on each side. And over Southeast Raleigh, Jonathan Robinson has been a star. He was at Garner last year. This year transfers into Southeast Raleigh. Outstanding defender, all conference type of player. He can shoot it from the outside, and he's a catalyst for the Bulldogs. Over for Garner, Cameron Reyes has been a star, filling up the scoreboard, shooting the ball from the outside. He's got to look for his shot here early on tonight. He can drive, attack the rim. Over on the defensive side, he's a stopper. 2 of the best players and 2 of the leaders for each side.
We'll see most of the seniors on this Garner team start tonight, along with a brother tandem as well. But now let's get to some of the keys tonight for Southeast Raleigh to steal a win on the road against the regular season champs.
The Bulldogs have to slow down Garner, whether that's on the defensive side, slowing down in transition defense, or slowing down the pace over on offense, forcing Garner into tough shots. For the Trojans, it's all about crashing the boards, being physical on the glass, and then protecting the basketball. They're going to play up-tempo tonight, but they want to protect the ball and run up and down the court.
They met about 1 month ago, and it was a 25-point win for the 20-3 Garner Trojans. Get ready, senior night, high school regular season finale before the conference tournament kicks in, and the playoffs start next week in the Tar Heel State. We're coming back more in the pregame show at Garner and Southeast Raleigh High School Hoops on this Friday night. Back inside Garner High School Gymnasium, it is Greater News regular season finale tonight between the champion Garner Trojans and the Bulldogs of Southeast Raleigh. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter here. You see on the floor kind of the first wave of seniors from the Garner High School dance team. Some of the members here of the Garner women's basketball team, they just finished a couple of minutes ago. So again, if you're getting ready for tip-off on the men's side, we're about 18 minutes or so away. So proud parents, proud students, proud athletes. And for a lot of these athletes, Jay, you've been here. For some of them, this is the last time they'll wear potentially a home jersey in the regular season here tonight in this gym.
And last time here on this floor where you've been practicing, spent so much time here. So special moment. The best part about it is they're with their family out on the floor. So this is something they'll all be able to share in. You'll get the picture and it'll be at your house and you'll remember this moment. And it's always special being amongst your classmates, because even if you go on and play at the college level, this is the best time you'll ever have playing high school sports.
And here is Makai Bryant, one of the seniors we will see in the starting lineup tonight for Kent Blums of the 20-3 Garner Trojans. You see, Makai is almost overcome by emotion. Very special night, and again, the memories not only in this gymnasium but in the hallways that surround us here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 20, Makai Bryant.
And for this Garner program, both on the men's side and the women's side, such rich tradition. For decades here at Garner High School. We saw just a couple of years ago the Garner women play for a state championship, lost in the finals back in 2021, and such a proud tradition here on the men's side as well for the high school players who have then moved on to star at the college level and star at the NBA level. So they're used to great successes here in Garner.
Well, and it's a program where there's pride, and if you go to elementary school, middle school here, you want to go to Garner. And special tradition. Coaches that have been here have been great people. They've had long-term stays at this school, and you can tell by this community how they come out and support, how much they appreciate their school and their programs.
I'm sure we'll bring this up during the course of the broadcast, Jay, but what is it like on senior night, either on the football field or basketball field, to block out all of the emotions, the energy, the fans, the family who are here on a very special night, and then focus for the next hour and a half to try and win a big ball game?
Well, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you are energized by this moment, but you also have to kind of channel that and know that, hey, I've got to save the energy for the fourth quarter in my game that's about to start. So you got to control it, but you also have to use it to fuel you.
Thank you for your service with Garner Magnet High School.
So there's the last ovation for these outgoing Garner Trojan seniors on the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team, the cheerleaders, and the dance team. And one last embrace right there to Tanner Mikulecki, 6'5" senior, who has had just an outstanding season academically and on the basketball court for this 20-3 Trojans team.
Yeah, he's respected, the glue of the team, and he does it on and off the floor. And he's a guy that everybody looks up to, a true leader, and they're going to miss him next year.
All right, so one last pose of pictures, jerseys, inside frames, flowers, the Garner Trojan colored balloons, the blue and gold. And then we'll have about 10 minutes on the clock for the team now to re-huddle in the hallways. The patient Bulldogs of Southeast Raleigh, they're waiting to get on the floor to get their warm-ups underway. And Charles Graves, the head coach for Southeast Raleigh, now after he was an assistant coach about 10 years, now in his second full season as the head coach. A lot of pride within this Bulldog program as well, a school that opened up a little more than 2 decades ago. But when it comes to, and we see this a lot with Garner, the alumni show out for football games, for basketball games. Same can be said for Southeast Raleigh, especially this year with Charles Graves. They have 9 alumni of this Bulldog basketball team here tonight on the road as they take on one of their biggest rivals in the league.
It's proud tradition in Southeast Raleigh and Garner. This is the 1-2 matchup here. I mean, each side has a lot going for them as far as their athletics go. And 2 longtime legendary coaches, Eddie Gray from Garner basketball is here tonight, and out in the hallway we were talking to legendary head coach John Baker for Southeast Raleigh, one of our friends, and just what this program means to him and to support Charles Graves, who played for him, and he stays close contact with him every day talking, and he built this program. He was here in 1997 when it started, finished in 2016, and still very much here every single ball game supporting his team.
And you talk about the community from middle school to junior high here to Garner High School. You brought up Eddie Gray, and then we found out just a few months ago that Thurman Leach retiring after being the Garner football coach since 2013. Spent about 34 years in high school football. So he has now called it a career, a great legendary career. But again, the history, the tradition still runs very, very deeply. And now Deron Donald brought in from Smithfield Selma High School to overtake the football program, and Ken Blums is in his 5th year here from Garner. Those are big shoes to fill to maintain the integrity and maintain the high elevation of these programs.
Yeah, there's a big responsibility when you're a coach at one of these programs. You have that support from the previous coaches and those players, the alumni that come back. But also, too, you've got to continue that. So there is pressure. And I think each side has done an outstanding job. Kent Blums, as well as Charles Graves, these 2 guys, friends, they've built their programs up in contention year in and year out. This is going to be a great ball game, but it's good to see all those faces. We talked to John Baker before, and his relationship with Charles Graves and with Eddie Gray here and Kent Blums, those 2 guys, close friends as well. That's why this is different than college athletics, pro athletics. It's the relationships and the support that you receive.
Now let's talk about Charles Graves and his squad, because talking about the pressure of senior night, it's a little bit different feeling for John Robinson, his sophomore star player who played for Garner last year, now with Southeast Raleigh. Different sets of feelings and dynamics for him as he returns for the first time in a different uniform to a school he knows very well.
Yeah, and I mean, there's those relationships with these guys that you're going in, your old home court, now enemy territory. So that's going to be a spark tonight that we'll watch. And, for Garner, they protected this home floor. And packed house, senior night, you want to send the seniors out on the right way. And the Bulldogs are going to try to spoil that.
Garner last year finished 11-3 in the Greater News. It's a tough season last year for Southeast Raleigh. Got off to a very slow start this year, starting actually 1-5. They won their opening game against Heritage and then didn't win for about 3 weeks. Won a couple of games and then lost a few more. They started 3-7. Remarkably, though, 14-10 overall, 10-3 in the Greater News. And those 3 losses came in succession about a month and a half ago to Enloe, to South Garner, and a 25-point loss against these Garner Trojans. But since then, wins over Cleveland, Corinth Holders, Clayton, Willow Spring, Fuquay-Varina, and they exacted some revenge on South Garner earlier in the week, 60-47. So they're playing tremendously unselfish basketball at the right time. And really, it's just kind of a barometer for how far they've come in the last month.
They've turned it on, and the chemistry for them is what changed. I mean, they played together, physical on the defensive end and on the offensive end, very connected, moving the basketball, doing a nice job executing. And over for Garner, I mean, they're out of conference schedule, Christmas tournament, the John Wall tournament. They've tested themselves. And this is a team that is so young. Not only have they been outstanding this year, but just think the next couple of years when these sophomores, this sophomore class turns into juniors and seniors, they're going to continue the upward trajectory.
Again, Garner tonight will start 3 seniors, but in a typical starting lineup for Garner most of the year, 3 sophomores, 1 junior, 1 senior. So they're built for a potential deep run this year. They are really stacked up for the next couple of years.
And Ken Blums has done a masterful job getting this team to play together. They play so hard. He has talent, and he's got kids that really play basketball the right way because of his coaching. He's an all-star coach, and he's gotten the most out of his team.
All right, so here are the starters for Garner, sponsored by West Shore Home. West Shore Home, convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. You see the Whitner brothers, numbers 21 and 25. Darius is just a freshman. Tyshawn is a junior. Then the 3 outgoing seniors, Makai Bryant, Mikkel Simpson, and Tanner Mikalucky at 6'5". So that is who the starting 5 will be, at least for the first few minutes of this senior night contest here in Garner. And now we'll take a look at the starters for Southeast, and they're led by Emmanuel McLean's 13 points a game. He is a senior, and we'll see him kind of lead the way tonight.
Oh, yeah, he's an outstanding player, and for him, so talented. He plays so hard, great on the defensive end. This is really a good group of stars for Southeast Raleigh. But Emmanuel McLean, he's been a star all season.
West Shore Home, convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. And there you see John Robinson, number 13, the Garner transfer into the Southeast Raleigh program. Sophomore year, 6 points, 4 boards, and playing very mature basketball for this Bulldog program in his first year for Southeast. Southeast 14-10 overall, 10-3 within the Greater News.
Good to see you too, Adam.
And Charles Graves, there's a look at Ken Blums.
He just came up to say hey to us.
I mean, hey, we had time to kill. We
Hey,
could have had it for a
we'll get
pregame
him on the
interview,
air.
all right? What's the game plan? What's on your whiteboard? 5th-year head coach here for the Garner Trojans. Again, here placed Eddie Gray ahead of the 18-19 season, a long-time Trojan head coach. When he was with the JV program here for Garner, led the team to a school record 66 straight wins. And when Eddie Gray retired, he was kind of the odds-on favorite.
Yeah.
As he embraces with Charles Graves, the second Southeast Raleigh Bulldog head coach. Again, there are so many intersections between these programs, these communities, and these players.
Yeah, well, and both coaches are outstanding people. We talked to both of them this week. 2 of the best, and they know basketball. They get the most out of their teams. But what I most admire is they truly care about these kids, and it's more than just what they can do on the court. It's during the day, it's in the classroom, it's the extra activities they do during the summer with their team. And that's why for these players, they need to really remember these special moments, because these are 2 great guys that truly want the best for their players, not only now but in the future.
And we had a chance to catch up with Charles Graves about a half an hour ago. Not only was he, so he's a Southeast Raleigh alum, very proud Bulldog alum, went on to play defensive back for the Delaware Blue Hens at the FCS level. He was a second-team All-American in 08. Had 5 interceptions, couple of fumble recoveries, but he also ran track for the Bulldogs and played, obviously, football and basketball basketball for the Bulldogs. And we were out in the hallways. We were waiting on the women's game to wrap up. And he was there with, again, his longtime Bulldogs coaches, representatives, and former players. And they were just lined up shoulder to shoulder to shoulder in that hallway along the trophy case, waiting to get in this gym and waiting to watch this Bulldog team try and take down the conference champs tonight.
Yeah, it was just really fun to kind of get here before the game, Patrick, and talk to everybody. Talk to the defensive coordinator for Garner, Dontre Brown, new football coach, and Kent Blom's this week. I'll tell you what, he still can shoot it. He's got a great outside shot for a coach. He can drain and show his players how it's done. But Charles Graves as well. Played with Joe Flacco at Delaware, and Coach Baker and him. We talked to them about their relationship. So really special camaraderie. And Ken Blom's here, has put in so much with this program, taking the baton from Eddie Gray. Very proud for what he's built here, and again, for such a young team, 20-3. The job he has done has been amazing, and this is a program now. You look at where they're at with their youth. Deep playoff run. I mean, the potential is unlimited with him at the helm.
This Garner team has won 5 in a row, really have not been tested a whole lot in the last couple of months. They're capable of putting up some big offensive numbers. Tripped up by Fuquay Varina about 3 weeks ago, but that's been about it for Garner. I mean, you go back and look, a loss to Millbrook in the first month of the season. Millbrook, again, is one of the best teams around in the state of North Carolina. The loss to Don Bosco Prep, the juggernaut from New Jersey. That was around the Christmas holiday. And then the Fuquay Varina loss a couple of weeks ago. Outside of that, Garner's been in control, in command. And nobody really knows how deep this Garner team can run. A lot of it might depend on the brackets and the draw and what the path looks like to make a deep run. And again, they may be looking a year or two down the road, but the seniors can't. The seniors have to look at it right now if you're Tanner, Mikulicki, and the others.
So the future is now. And the interesting aspect of tonight's ball game is Charles Graves, he's the director of Garner Road basketball. They have outstanding AAU program, one of the best in the country. Well, there's many players for Garner that play in that program, and Kent Blom's knows all the Southeast Raleigh players. Charles Graves knows all the Garner players. So, out on the floor, these are friends, even if they're on the opponent's side, and they know their tendencies. So it's not going to be any trick matchups tonight. They're going to know the personnel on the floor. Is just going to be about who can execute better.
And we hear this from coaches a lot when they're going against players either that used to play for them, or if there's, again, that kind of crossover of summer basketball. Charles Graves said, we know all the tendencies, all the ways that these guys like to play. We hope they do well because they're going to be playing again for me probably over the summertime. We just are kind of tongue-in-cheek, hoping they don't play all that well tonight against us. So the starting lineups are being introduced. Southeast Raleigh in the deep blue uniforms. And now the music on senior night for the last time for the 3 seniors here inside Garner High School Gymnasium. Tanner Mikulicki, Mikhail Simpson, Makai Bryant.
6'5", senior number 3, Tanner Mikulicki.
Just trying to contain the emotions.
5'8", senior number 15, Michael Simpson.
It's a real selfie.
That's amazing.
Number 20, Makai Bryant.
Do that in the NFL, it's a 15-yard penalty.
That's one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, do it here in Garner, it's a lifetime memory. So the 3 seniors announced first. And now the Whitner brothers, Tayshawn and Darius. There's Darius, the 6-foot freshman. Well, you want a great atmosphere on the final high school hoops Friday night of the regular season. This is it. No better place to be than here in Garner tonight. Southeast 10-3 in league play. Garner 12-1. And Jay, let's kind of quickly review your keys to victory for both the Bulldogs and the Trojans tonight.
Well, Garner's going to play up tempo. They're going to shoot the 3. They're going to be up and down the floor. For Southeast Raleigh, can you slow that pace down? And can you win on the boards and make it difficult for Garner? So much anticipation for this game. Can you be the spoiler? That's going to be the question.
All right, who can contain the emotions? Garner and the home whites. And the officials give the thumbs up to each other. We are ready for basketball. We thank you for your patience tonight. And here we go. Regular season finale In the Greater News, Garner and White, the regular season champs. Southeast Raleigh in the deep navy, finishing a runner-up. And Garner turns it over on the first possession, and here come the Bulldogs. And this is Josh Alford, number 1. Garner's going to open up in a man-to-man. Off-balance little runner in the lane is missed by Robinson, the former Trojan. And the rebound cleared away by Garner.
And Garner's going to spread the floor. 4 out. They want to have clear lanes. Second turnover early on.
And the Bulldogs back down the floor. Again, they got bombed by Garner by 25 points in the first meeting. Stoppage in play as a stool somehow fell over onto the court of play on the Garner bench. The officials saw that and a little stare into the bench saying, how'd that happen?
Flying object.
So there will be no technical assessed, just a quizzical look, and the Bulldogs will throw in. That's the first stool delay I've ever seen in high school basketball. And now is Southeast being sent to the bench? Are they going to clean up the floor here? What's the issue here? The officials are getting together. Oh, correct. There's an official timeout. So not only did the stool fall over and stop play, but one of the 3 officials ran out of the gym, maybe feeling a little bit under the weather. He's now returned, and he'll get an assessment to his 2 official mates. Now, these are the same 3 officials that worked the women's game that just ended about 45 minutes ago. And the official in question is the one on the left. He, about 10 minutes ago, was looking at our broadcast booth and kind of looked at me and said, you guys ready? Thumbs up, ready to go? Everybody's in a great mood, but now a little bit of a delay. And he may have actually made connection with that stool that went on the floor. There he is, very near side, in the bottom left-hand corner. There's the stool. He runs right into it.
Wow.
So that was the issue. It looked like one of the team managers perhaps was trying to get a stool out of the way, and the official ran right into it inadvertently. And now we will resume in Bulldog basketball. That official still feeling out with the left leg. Alford jumps one out. Now to the corner, stepping left. This is McLean, the first bucket of the game for Emmanuel McLean in Southeast Raleigh.
He's a sharpshooter. Good look from the outside to get on the board. They've got to feed him the ball tonight.
Good up fade by Mikalecki. Nearly lost it. Save to the perimeter. Jump pass back into the corner. Mikalecki. The rebound of the Bulldogs, Jeremiah Grantham. Catching that pass with his foot on the end line was Ethan Reed. Turnover by Southeast Raleigh.
And Garner was coming over to bring the trap and over there right in front of the student section. And this home court advantage is real. It's loud in here tonight, and that's going to play into Garner, who's going to press. They're going to trap. They're going to play man-to-man, but they'll switch back and forth between different defenses.
Deflected pass out in your midcourt. Saved, though, by the Bulldogs. Mikalecki passes into the corner. This is a 3. A little bit short off of the fingertips of Tayshawn Whitner. But here's Darius, his brother. Leaves that teardrop short. The Bulldogs thinking about a transition opportunity. Alford across the lane. And a whistle. It's an offensive foul. Mikalecki stepping right in front of the drive.
And Ken Blom's talked with us this week about how outstanding of a defender Mikalecki is. He said he averages over a charge per game. Well, he gets the first charge here within 2 minutes of the ball game. Great effort down low, giving up your body.
Well, Garner, when they punished this Bulldog team about a month ago, scored 88. Scoreless in the first 2 minutes of this one. But again, starting 3 seniors, 2 that normally do not start. And the finger roll a little long by Mekhi Bryant. So Garner's missed his first 3 shots. A couple of turnovers as well. Reed misses a 3. Nice rebound there by Bryant. Mikalecki, he has this in his bag. Can't connect from long range. The rebound tracked down by Reed in the corner.
Garner's getting open looks because they're spreading the floor, but creates long rebounds.
A nice look to the inside. Grantham switching hands and scoring with the left.
And Southeast Raleigh's finding open opportunities in transition. Good job pushing the ball up the floor.
We were curious about how Garner might come out on senior night, deal with the emotions. They have not made a shot yet. Plenty of turnovers. Missed shot there. Potential run out for the Bulldogs, but a takeaway by Darius Whitner. We'll see if Garner in transition can get on the board here. Mikalecki, no room in the corner, draws 3 defenders. The kick out to Whitner, and there it is. The freshman Darius Whitner for the first points of the night for Garner.
Well, they spread the floor again. Easy driving lanes, drive and kick when the double team came over. Good job by Garner with their alignment.
That 3 brought to you by Talk It Out NC. Start the conversation. Reduce underage drinking. That 3 a little strong from Robinson. Dribbled is hacked away by Alford, and the dump down to the inside. A second crack now for Southeast. Does not pay off for McLean, and the Bulldogs save another offensive rebound. Bulldogs not looking like a squad. They got knocked down by 25 points about 3 weeks ago. Another 4th crack on the possession, all for the bucket. Timeout, Kent Blums and Garner. And the Bulldogs have a 3-point lead on the road on Garner's floor on senior night. About midway through the opening quarter, 6-3 Southeast. A pretty good start for Charles Graves. Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs up 6-3. 4:13 left in the opening quarter. Started a little bit later because of senior night festivities here at Garner High School. And Ken Blums started 3 seniors. He's not gone to his regular 5 out of that first timeout, including Cameron Reyes, 6-foot sophomore wearing number 1. Coach's son Keaton Blums, who stands 6'6". He's a sophomore wearing number 22. Mikalecki is still out there along with the freshman Darius Whitner. Whistle off the play. Offensive foul going on Garner. That will go on Blums.
Southeast Raleigh has been clicking here. Their hot streak has been because of their defense. They've come out tonight. They've been physical. They're playing hard, and you can hear the communication out on the floor, talking, switching. They're doing all the little things.
A good recognition to break the press initially by Southeast. Basketball deflected out of bounds. It will stay with the Bulldogs. This is where Garner can wreak some havoc after made buckets or dead ball out of bound. Length of the floor plays with their defense. They come in waves.
Really good at jumping in passing lanes. Southeast Raleigh has to be careful with the ball, be assertive when they're making decisions.
So they get it in to Alford. Ethan Reed, patient Bulldog offensive set. Right now the Bulldogs, they're running their stuff, crashing the offensive glass, and Alford can't connect from mid-range. And Blums with the handle at 6'6" will bring it on the floor. This is Whitner. Raises the rim. Mikalecki is there, twisting to the hole, can't finish. And the Bulldogs save the rebound right before McLean hit the deck. It's a tough pass to get out of there. There's a floater in the lane. That lips out. And here comes Garner. Don't have numbers, but sometimes it doesn't matter for the Trojans.
They want to push the pace, and Blums 6'6", but he'll play point guard as well. This is a versatile lineup for the Trojans.
3 short by Mikalecki. Garner right now ice cold. Pass in deep, power dribble. And Grantham tries to export that basketball. We get a foul near the sideline that will go on Garner. And it's number 1 on Cameron Reyes, an electric 6-foot sophomore for the Trojans. Chris Crudup is on the floor for the first time wearing number 10. He's one of the leaders of this Garner Trojan program. And Gabe Scott, 5'9" sophomore, is out there wearing number 12.
Southeast Raleigh, Emmanuel McLean, he's the leading scorer. He's got to get more touches.
Thrown into the backcourt, turnover. Twisted attempt is missed by Reyes. And the Bulldogs dodge a bullet. Still just 1 field goal and about 8 attempts plus 4 turnovers by Garner in this opening quarter. But the Bulldogs just not capitalizing. They can't make a whole lot either.
The transition defense from Southeast Raleigh. They get back and
another unforced turnover. by Garner in this opening quarter. This is not the team that Ken Blums has seen most of this year, at least not these first 8 minutes.
Trying to find a way to settle in here. Huge crowd, a lot of anticipation. Right now, Southeast Raleigh has just been able to slow down the pace. They talked about style of play they want to use tonight. Good job on the defensive end, limiting opportunities on the offensive end. And they've got to be able to execute here and get good looks, but they have to lead.
Brandon Temple, number 3 on the floor for the Bulldogs. As they run the weave out front, this is Robinson, the former Trojan. Short little baseline jumper, that's no good from Preston Scott. And Blums the rebound, snaps it ahead. Mikalecki let the defender fly by on the fake and out with a 3. The rebound tip still loose, and out of there with it is Alford. Still a 6-3 lead for Southeast. The kick to the top, Preston Scott open. And the lead is now 6 for the Bulldogs.
Good job from Scott out front there, knocking it down. He's got range from the outside.
Cronum, that won't go. Garner now 1 of 11 in this opening quarter. And the stick back by Cameron Reyes.
Nice job from Reyes with the hustle and that loose ball.
And a quick 3 at the other end, airball by Temple. Down the floor, here is Reyes. Oh, and a reversal by Cameron Reyes. Off the bench for the first time in months. And a catalyst for the Trojans, and a timeout taken by Southeast.
And a great pass from Blums up ahead to Reyes, who finished. And for Charles Graves, good timeout here. Felt the momentum shifting. And Garner getting things going. There was the loose ball that Reyes came up with, fighting for it, and then beautiful pass from Blums. 6'6", but he's got point guard skills for a streaking Reyes. And again, Graves knows, hey, we got to limit the runs. Ken Blum's got a talented group, young group. Feels like they're settling in, starting to get some rhythm.
Let's take a look at the NC DPS points in the paint in this opening quarter. 4-4 for the Bulldogs and Trojans. Sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, be a champion for victims. Yeah, you almost feel like the Bulldogs have missed a big opportunity in this opening quarter. Garner missed 10 of his first 11 shots, turned it over 4 times. Trailed by only 6. Now back-to-back quick buckets by Cameron Reyes. The starting 5 are now out there beginning to get in synchronicity for the Trojans. And the Bulldogs' lead is 2.
Yeah, and you've got to be pleased if you're a Bulldog with how you're playing on the defensive end. But you're right, some missed opportunities when Garner was cold to get a bigger lead.
Now how important will it be for the Bulldogs to manage this Garner pressure? And here they come, 4 of the 5 very active in the backcourt. Dribble poked away. And here comes Garner down the floor. The dump off to Crudup, and it's a blocking foul on the Bulldogs. The basket will not count. Kingston Beal, number 5, a 6'2" freshman, tipped the basketball away to lead the break here for Garner. And there's the blocking foul going against the Bulldogs. So no bucket. Foul goes on Brandon Temple, number 3 for the Bulldogs. Challenge for the ball, tipped away. Steal by the Bulldogs. And here comes Southeast Raleigh. The easy drop in by Gibbs.
Nice job creating the turnover and then making Garner pay, executing. They're getting their hands in passing lanes. They're making it difficult, especially out on the perimeter up front. Garner trying to move the ball around, but good job from McLean reading the eyes and knocking the ball loose.
This is already one of the big differences from the first matchup between these teams. The Bulldog defense is wreaking havoc. I mean, tipping passes, deflecting passes, steals on the live dribble. They're not making it easy right now here for Garner. There's another deflection, loose underneath and kicked out of bounds by Reyes. I mean, Charles Graves, he'll take this kind of defense every game. And this has been impressive in the first 8 minutes here for the Bulldogs defensively.
This is Garner team. It'll light it up from the outside, and his team is playing so well on that end of the court. You know, and a big key for them is handling this press tonight, because the ball's out of bounds. They're going to try to trap you and put pressure on you.
Late whistle, it's a travel, and no bucket for Naz Gibbs. Looked like the officials might let that go. Shuffle the feet as he took that long bounce pass near the foul line. Last 30 seconds of the first quarter. Crudup, this is a 3. Rebound by Blums. Powers it up, and he'll head to the free throw line.
And Southeast Raleigh switching to his zone defense, changing up the looks. But when you're in a zone, it makes it tougher to rebound. You've got to go find a man. Blums really untouched there until he contested for the board. Good job reading it off the rim, being physical, snatching it, and then going up and getting the contact.
So Keaton Blums, 6'6" sophomore at the line, misses the first of two at the NC 529 free throw line. It's never too late or too early to start saving for education. Both teams will go fairly deep down their benches. 1 of 2 for Blums.
Substitution for the Trojans, number 21,
Tayshawn Winters back in. Blums will sit. 11-8 lead for the Bulldogs. 14 seconds left in this opening quarter. Long down court pass to Wilfong. 8 seconds left. Locates Alford. Twisting pass. This is a three from Wilfong. Too long. The stick back will go if it counts, and it is. Bucket by Alford. First quarter ends, and it's a 5-point lead for Southeast Raleigh.
Southeast Raleigh on the road in a tough atmosphere. Great start. And for Garner, settling in. They've got to get the game going from the outside and knock down some of those three-pointers.
13-8 Bulldogs after one. Senior night here in Garner, but Southeast Raleigh very well represented. And a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs after one, 13-8. Patrick Enos, Joey Sonhalter. You see the student section for Garner right behind the inbounder Alford for the Bulldogs. They haven't sat all game, and I don't think they will until they're in their cars on their way home. Little defensive intensity picked up by Garner. Alford wheeling through, can't finish, and there for the rebound is Mikulecki of Garner. Off the bounce, that three banked home by Cameron Reyes.
He can build up from the outside, and Garner playing up tempo. It pays off.
And Wilfong back behind the defense makes Garner pay. Well, this is the track meet that Garner likes to get into. Reyes thought he was still feeling it. And the stick back, no, for Mikulecki. And the rebound tipped into the hands of Nas Gibbs. And he gets knocked off balance, and a Garner foul. And that's number 2 on Reyes.
Cameron Reyes, his second, third team foul.
Seen the Bulldogs handle Garner's pressure well. We've seen them also capitalize after some made buckets and send somebody quickly the other way. So good coaching here by Charles Graves to beat Garner at what Garner does best.
Well, and one of the keys that he talked with us about was limiting the runs of Garner and stopping any momentum, and they've done that so far tonight. Anytime Garner gets something going, it seems like Southeast Raleigh has an answer.
Oh, a beautiful feed by Windsor to Mikulecki, diving down the lane.
Give and go, great job being unselfish. Mikulecki moving without the basketball.
Quick three by Scott, that's missing. Another old board, this time by Alford. He's been on the offensive glass 3 times now. Southeast by 4.
He's the X factor for the Bulldogs.
Crudup shot blocked away by Scott. Crudup got it back, blocked again. And cleared away by Alford. And this is an inspired first half by the Bulldogs on the defensive side. It is not easy to hold this Garner team to 8 points in a quarter. Again, they scored 88 against Southeast Raleigh about a month ago.
Well, when you play that first matchup, and you watch the film, then you make adjustments from there. Southeast Raleigh right now saw what they did in that first game, changing up the looks on the defensive end, and on offense, they're executing, driving the lane.
Again, the trailer on the defense, Nas Gibbs, the takeaway. And the turnovers are just piling up for Garner in this first half. Couple of minutes gone by in the second quarter. In the corner, Wilfong knocks down a 3. Avon Wilfong 5 off for the bench. And the lead is 7 now for the Bulldogs, biggest of the game.
And he's a shooter, and they're finding opportunities for him with what he does best. Good job setting up on that corner to knock it in.
Sponsored by Talk It Out NC. Start the conversation. Reduce underage drinking. Southeast Raleigh 20, Garner 13. Mikulicki from the corner. That has not been his spot yet tonight. Caught up the offensive rebound, couldn't thread a pass through, and there is Gibbs once again. Up the floor in a 3-on-3, and the Bulldogs wait for reinforcements. Deep three, straight on. That won't go by Xavier Stroud. And it'll be a foul going on the Bulldogs.
And Gibbs didn't play in that first ball game against Garner. Here back tonight healthy. And that's a big boost with him in the lineup against the Trojans.
Three of the starters are back on the floor. Jeremiah Grantham, number 21. Ethan Reed is back out there. Excellent bench minutes by those three. Will Fong has 5 points. Gibbs 2 with several offensive rebounds. And now Garner has it in. Southeast Raleigh still had 6 on the floor. And so the officials are going to get together and say, is this going to be a technical on the Bulldogs for not subbing everybody off? And it will be a technical on the Bulldogs, yeah. And Charles Graves wants an explanation. There were 6 players. One, it looked like, was walking off of the floor, but didn't get off the floor in time. And that's an unforced error for the Bulldogs. So technical free throw to Tayshawn Whitner. 5:07 left in the second quarter. You don't want to poke the bear here in Garner and give the Trojans free points here.
Shooting the technical foul for the Trojans, number 21.
So the violation evidently on John Robinson, number 13, who right now is waiting to sub onto the floor. I think, Jay, he thought he was already in the game, subbed in when the Bulldogs subbed in 3 others.
Well, and you have to make sure you get clearance from the referee. That buzzer sounds before you can go into the ball game. It's so crowded here tonight on the floor. A lot of people walking through, so sometimes it's hard to see even here, but you have to make sure that you get the clearance before you run out there. And Garner gets that free throw, regain the possession here, a boost here to maybe try to go on a little bit of a run.
A couple of free throws from the Popeyes free throw line. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Little turnaround jump hook, and the lead is good by Keaton Blum. His first points.
Blum, so skilled, good job. That shot's unblockable, especially with his height. Really good touch around the rim.
Reminder, stay tuned for the myspot.nc.gov high school hoops halftime report, first half highlights and more. Check out myspot.nc.gov to find a free, safe, and effective COVID-19 vaccine for everyone 6 months and older. Another offensive rebound. This one by Gibbs. Denied near the rim. But a foul on the inside. And it's going to go against Blum. That'll be his second. That's going to send the Bulldogs to the free throw line for the first time tonight. So Nash Gibbs at the Popeye free throw line. Love that chicken from Popeyes. 3 points now for Gibbs. And I believe 4 offensive rebounds for Gibbs in a small amount of time on the floor. And they've handled the press. They've crashed the glass. They've been shot it well, but neither is Garner. But that's what's kept the Bulldogs in the lead. 22-17. That almost squirted off the shoulder out of bounds. This is a 3 off the sideline, way short. Mikulicki the rebound, and he was on the end line.
Mikulicki, yeah, he's arguing that he got pushed. It was contact down low.
We'll take a look.
As he goes up for this, felt like he got shoved.
Yeah, not a lot.
Doesn't get the call.
Press breaker again by Southeast, and the jumper knocked down by Ethan Reed. And back to a 7-point lead, 24-17. Crudup. Boy, Garner cannot purchase a 3.
Getting some looks, just not falling tonight. We're on Tuesday night against Corinth Holder. It was raining from the outside, just hasn't been there so far in this game.
Little one-on-one move, little step back over. Mikulicki is good from Emmanuel McLean. 4 points for McLean. And a proud Papa on the end line here. We'll tell you more about that in a second. The next dead ball. 9-point lead now for the Bulldogs. Cut back to 7. The bucket by Chris Crudup. Pass out Robinson. Misses a 3. There's another offensive rebound knocked out of Gibbs' hands. And here comes Gabe Scott down the floor. Shovels one to the side. Whitner at Three won't go. Offense rebound to reverse. Hit the underside of the rim. Foul, though, on the Bulldogs. And that will take us to a break. 7-point lead for Southeast Raleigh with 3:20 remaining in this first half. The Bulldogs beaten by 25 a few weeks ago by this regular season champion Trojan squad on the road, up 7. Stay tuned for the myspot.nc.gov high school hoops halftime report. Jay and I will have some first half highlights, a whole lot more. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find a free, safe, and effective COVID-19 vaccine for everyone 6 months and older. Well, there we're in number 20, Emmanuel McLean, the son of that man, Larry McLean, who is one of our esteemed videographers, camera guys on these broadcasts, football, basketball, baseball, you name it. He works for high school hoops. He works for the ACC. Anywhere there's a game in the Triangle, he's usually there. He's a proud father as well tonight, watching Emmanuel and the Bulldogs try and spring a big upset.
He's the best, one of the nicest people, and he's there with us every single ball game, and tonight gets to see his son play, and he's been to so many classic games in college and high school that we've been a part of, and for him, what a moment being down on the baseline.
5-point game, 26-21, Bulldogs leading. And they have led effectively since the opening minute of this game. It has been a defensive rock fight so far. But the Bulldogs have done their part, turning Garner over. It's been a cold shooting night for the Trojans so far. Garner has made only 2 3-pointers this first half. And Whitmer, number 25, has one of them. The three on the way by Scotts is good. First points for Gabe Scotts.
Only a sophomore. He's a spark for the Trojans. Really good ball handler, and you can see his outside range.
The three sponsored by Talk It Out NC. Start the conversation, reduce underage drinking. Now it's the Bulldogs being pressured on the ball. Nice spin. And a pass goes into the corner, and Southeast will set things up. This is McLean. Deep three off the heel. And the rebound nearly went out of bounds, but saved by Scotts. Just made the three. Now he leads the break. Scott knifing through. The extra pass, Crudup, good fake. To the rim. Scoops with the right hand. And a delicate finish with the fingertips by Chris Crudup. And it's a tie game. Garner has rallied back from 7 down twice to tie.
What a shot, and now the crowd gets into the ball game. Crudup, watch him here. Nice pass to the outside, unselfish play. But then 10 takes over with the contact, falls to the side. The spin here, gets it in. Timeout's called, and now you can feel this energy building up.
Well, a little bit of a misfire. The Pistons weren't quite firing in the first couple of minutes for Garner. Again, senior night, a lot of emotion. A couple of seniors were in the starting lineup that normally aren't, and sometimes it can take the guys who get the bulk minutes a little extra time to kind of get loose and get in a rhythm on the floor when they're coming off the bench. 26 all, final couple minutes of this first half. And here's that Garner pressure. McLean loops one to Reed to avoid some pressure. That's going to be an illegal screen by Brandon Temple.
And Garner changes up their defensive looks throughout the ball game. Man-to-man, then they've been trapping and just kind of messed up the rhythm for the Bulldogs, and there's the foul he called for the referees.
Tell you what, plenty of contact right there, but how about Kingston Beal, the freshman? A little oversell. They got the call. Pull-up jumper from the elbow will not give Garner the lead. Minute and a half to go in the first. Temple, the senior. Dribble poked away. Odd man break. Up ahead. Here's Beal, the freshman. Oh, what a finish. Over his head. through some contact, and the Trojans lead by 2.
Beal, big-time athlete, good job getting out on the break. For Garner's playing their best basketball.
And Garner nearly forced another turnover. A lucky break, though, for the Bulldogs. Temple, the recipient of the loose ball pass, draws the Bulldogs level again. And that's left short. Here comes Southeast. A minute to go in the half. Dribble taken away. The flip down low. The layup is good from Beal. Crudup with the steal. And it's back to a 2-point lead now for Garner. And there's the counter by Reed. Suddenly this game has gone from idling to 6th gear.
Each team getting their punches in, back and forth.
Crudup. Full block up top, but a lot of contact down near the hips. And that's going to be a foul going against Robinson of the Bulldogs, number 2.
Robinson comes in here. Does get the ball, but too much body. Crudup. Physical, takes the contact, and he's really been coming on strong here in the second quarter.
31-30. Garner down 1. This is Crudup, 6 points all in this quarter. He's back at the Popeyes free throw line. Again, Crudup is one of those guys who normally would start for Garner, but not on senior nights. And one more coming for Crudup. Sold out gymnasium. Lead back to Garner by 1. And Crudup will check out. And we'll update the NCDPS points in the paint here in the second quarter, sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. Be a champion for victims. And that was 4-4 earlier in the first quarter. It's now 20-12 in favor of Garner. Tells you how they've got back in the game. It has not been their perimeter shooter, that's for sure.
Well, and Garner making adjustments. Shooting the outside shot wasn't falling. So then they say, okay, it's time to attack the rim. They've been going in the paint, also doing a better job on the offensive glass, getting loose balls and putbacks.
Well, Kent Blums is rolling up the sleeves. No jacket, no tie. Now he does have the tie still on. We'll see if that stays on in the fourth quarter. Little joust near midcourt with 18 seconds left. Bulldogs maintain possession. There's a tip and a steal by Michalecki and the Trojans. Will they hold for the final shot? 8 seconds left. Michalecki fakes a deep 3, protects the basketball, and gets fouled on the way up with 3.4 left. Really nicely done by Michalecki, because there's a lot of hands in there to try and disrupt that basketball, but look at him just covered up with 2 hands.
Such a good feel for the game, knowing how to maneuver his body to get the contact, protect the ball at the same time. And he's been a great outside shooter. Tuesday night, he had 8 3-pointers against Corinth Holders. Here tonight on senior night, they look to him to be a leader and have a big effort against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, humbling game, you know, when you're a shooter. One night you knock down 8 threes. The next night, 0 from 3-point range in the first half. 33-31, 3.4 left. Here come the Bulldogs. Alford with time. This will count if it goes in and out. No good. Stick around, NCDHHS. Halftime show is on the way. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find a free, safe, and effective COVID-19 vaccine for everyone 6 months old and older. Biggest lead of the game, 7, belonging to the Bulldogs on the road. But Garner smiling for selfies early on senior night, rallying late. And the Garner is at the break to a 2-point lead in this Greater News regular season finale. Well, the Garner Trojans trailed by as many as 7 in the first half. Scored 25 points in the second quarter and have a lead, 33-31 at halftime. You're watching the myspot.nc.gov High School Hoops Halftime Report. Now time for the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Tatum and Atkinson is proud to present the WRDC Sports High School Hoops Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week from Southeast Raleigh High School. The Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week is Preston Scott. Preston is basketball team captain, ranks second in his class and carries a 4.48 GPA. Preston is the National Honor Society Vice President, the president of Amy High Club, and is a College Board National African American Recognition Scholar. Preston serves the community through clothing drives, food drives, and school volunteer efforts. From Garner Magnet High School, the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week is Tanner Mikulecki. Tanner is basketball team captain, the team's most outstanding player, first team all-conference, and carries a 4.06 GPA. Tanner is an International Baccalaureate Diploma candidate, a member of Student Senate, a YMCA basketball camp counselor, and is active with community service.
Tatum and Atkinson is proud to be a sponsor of the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Congratulations to these All-Stars and good luck on your eligibility for a $3,000 scholarship at the end of the season.
Tatum and Atkinson, injured in a wreck? Call the heavy hitters.
Football coach here at Garner Magnet High School.
33-31 halftime lead for the Trojans on this final high school hoops of the regular season on this Friday night. You're watching the myspot.nc.gov high school hoops halftime report. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find a free, safe, and effective COVID-19 vaccine for everybody 6 months and older. And now we'll sit down for an interview with Jacob Wertz, sales manager of West Shore Home.
I'm here with Jake Wertz, the sales manager for West Shore Home. Welcome, Jake.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Why is it important for West Shore Home to partner with high school hoops?
Well, I think it goes in line with our core values of getting better every day. So throughout the season here, we're going to see all these student athletes, cheerleaders, even the parents themselves are going to be able to see their kids get better every day, and that goes in line with what West Shore is all about.
And why is it important for West Shore Home to be involved in the community?
The community is everything for us. In our eyes, you can't just be a company that goes out to people's houses and estimate projects. It's all about being embedded with the community. For instance, we just did a food drive to help the needy. We do other things throughout the year, Bass for the Braves, such things like that. It just kind of gives back to the community.
We really appreciate you being part of High School Hoops, and thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens this year.
It's going to be a great season, won't it?
I think so. Basketball is awesome.
On this senior night from Garner High School, you are watching the myspot.nc.gov High School Hoops Halftime Report. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find a free, safe, and effective COVID-19 vaccine for everyone 6 months and older. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter with you, and Jay 33-31 is the Garner lead as we get a look at some first half highlights. A lot of them at the outset belong to the Bulldogs.
This has been awesome. And both teams playing so hard early on, though. Southeast Raleigh came out on fire, playing really good defense, getting the loose balls, and kind of jolted the Trojans here on senior night. Early on, they're hitting the outside shots, easy follow-ups as well, but Garner came back in the second quarter.
Yeah, they did. Chris Crudup came off the bench on this senior night. He scored 8. This was a 3 from Cameron Reyes. 7 points also off the bench. That's a role he's not all that accustomed to, but I'll tell you, Garner finally got in rhythm. Scott hit that 3. They gave Garner its first lead. And they're up by 2 with the break, but again, it was the defense by the Bulldogs early, the defense by Garner late.
Yeah, and the defensive effort for both teams is going to be important here in the second half. Which team can create more turnovers and execute? And early on, the three-point shot really hasn't been there for either side. We'll see who can get on fire, get more rhythm in the second half.
A 2-point lead for Garner at halftime. We're coming back on this regular season finale of the high school hoops. Check your text messages and your Twitter feeds now because 16 minutes of hot basketball wraps up the Greater News regular season when we come back. Yeah, it is hot in here. Fans using flattened popcorn containers to fan their faces. Even some battery-powered small little miniature fans we've seen in the gymnasium tonight. Final half of regular season basketball in the Greater News and all across the state of North Carolina tonight. Garner 33, Southeast Raleigh 31. Garner in the home whites on this senior night. They had a rush back from 7 points down a couple of times in that first half. And an interior feed to Crudup. He's fouled, and that will open up this third quarter from the free throw line. First foul on Ethan Reed for the Bulldogs. All right, Jay, what do you think the focus and the conversation at halftime for Charles Graves, the Bulldogs, is?
Well, he's going to be very pleased with how his team came out, how hard they fought. I think the message has to be, hey, listen, on the defensive end, let's continue to make Garner uncomfortable. On the offensive side, though, when we have good looks, we need to take them, continue to attack, get to the free throw line. But we've got to execute, and we're running our game plan so far at a high level.
1 of 2 for Crudup from the NC 529 free throw line. Turnover immediately by the Bulldogs. The takeaway by Scott finds a lane down the paint and scores nicely with the left hand.
And for Garner, just continue to play up tempo, try to push the pace and come out here in the trapping early on.
And now the Bulldogs, they handle the pressure when they're in the lead. Can they when they trail? And there's a silencer from Reed, a 3 off the wing, and a 2-point Garner lead.
Well, and for Charles Graves, his team has always had a response tonight. There's been very few runs for the Trojans.
This is Crudup. This is a 3. A rebound tipped into the sideline, tracked down by Reyes. And that pass stolen away. And here come the Bulldogs. I'll tell you what, Alford did not see Grantham, who was pointing to the rim. Grantham wanted to lob his way and then commits a foul on the other end on the weak side rebound that was corralled nicely by Reyes.
Reyes boxing out, solid base, and forced that foul going over the back of him. So that's what you got to do when the ball is shot. Find a man, get into the body. Good fundamentals from Reyes.
Garner by 2. Crudup couldn't bring in that pass. Tried to catch with one hand unnecessarily. 2 hands, and that's not a turnover. Garner's been loose with the basketball tonight. Pass tipped away, right back to the Bulldogs. It looked like McClain didn't think he was allowed to touch that ball. Tipped right back to him, and the Bulldogs saved the possession. Robinson thinking about a 3. He'll shoot it over Mikulecki, and they can pay. And right back in front go the Bulldogs on Robinson's first 3-pointer of the game.
And Southeast Raleigh spaced the floor. 4 out, 1 post player over on the right block. Plenty of room to operate. Robinson had a path to get the ball off.
A 3-pointer by Robinson, sponsored by Talk It Out NC. Start the conversation. Reduce underage drinking. 37-36 Bulldogs. And that 3 won't go out of the corner. Weak side rebound grabbed by Reed, and then tied up by Mikulecki. And the arrow goes the other way to Southeast. Fight still there by the Bulldogs on the defensive side. Alford had 6 in the first half. Reed 5. Wilfong 5 off the bench. McClain scored 4. This is a 3. A little long out of the corner by Reed. And Mikulecki will lead it. Snaps one ahead. Reyes breezes past one. Extra passes. Deep 3. Mikulecki. In and out. That was the best ball movement we've seen by Garner. Crisp all game. And that 3 won't go. And the leaping stick back right in front of the rim by Jeremiah Grantham.
This game's back and forth. Each side not slowing down. Really good job on the offensive glass, darting in and getting the board.
And just like that, Bulldogs back up by 3. 39-36. Crudup, hard spin. Nice finish with the left.
So important to find the eyes. Crudup just slashed into the lane, and Blum, such a good passer, found him.
Baseline drive. Pass gets to Grantham. Goes to the other side. Got his own miss. In traffic. Can't muscle it home, and Garner comes out of there with it. And look at that left-handed sling pass. The touch to the corner for Crudup. And Garner goes up by 2. Crisp ball movement by the Trojans. 2 straight possessions.
Unselfish play, finding the best shot, and then execution.
41-39 Garner.
That was a foul on Robinson.
Robinson again being dared to shoot from the perimeter, and there's the reach by Crudup. And that won't fall all that well on the Garner bench because it did look like there was an extra shove up top on a screen that Robinson set earlier in that possession.
Yeah, this is missed. Watch Robinson, 13. That's a foul. Crudup looks over. Where's the call?
Ken Blums, head coach for Garner, having a long conversation with one of the officials. Garner by 2. Bulldog basketball. Christian Adama triggers into the corner. This is McLean. Drew a lot of attention. Looks opposite, and the Bulldogs back in the lead. A 3 by Alford. 42-41. Quick whistle. Hang on here with 4:06 left in the third quarter. We'll take this timeout. We've taken all the breaks we need, and we will now resume Garner basketball. Garner down by 1, and an immediate travel by Keaton Blums, the head coach's son. So we're back on our way. We thank you for sticking with us, and hopefully this will be an unimpeded final 12 minutes of game time. Southeast Raleigh with a 1-point lead on the road. John Robinson dared to shoot a 3, knocks down 1 just as he did earlier in this very long third quarter. They're willing him to shoot, and he's made it pay twice.
Yeah, and they're giving him that outside shot. And now Southeast Raleigh falls back into his own defense, changing up their look against the Trojans.
Talking out NC three-pointer. This is a 3, Mikalecki, a little bit long. Offensive rebound grab by Crudup. And that will rim off, but a foul on the Bulldogs.
Crudup has such a feel on the glass. He's a talented scorer, can light it up. He does all the little things as well. Going against Robinson, he was able to secure that rebound.
Third foul on John Robinson. Into the NC 529 free throw line. First one booked by Crudup. 15 points in the game for the Garner junior. Never too late or too early to start saving for education. And the free throw good. Crudup makes a pair. And now we'll have a delay here as the scoreboard is wrong. And the score still shows, hold on, wait, they're trying to get the ball in bounds. Charles Graves is still talking with one of the officials. The score on the scoreboard internally is wrong. And now we resume play at a whistle in the corner. And it will belong now to Garner. But again, our score 45-43 does not comport with a game score on the scoreboard here internally, which says 43-42. And now we're going to resume. The score is right, the clock is right, and here we go. Garner basketball. Is there free overnight parking here in Garner? Garner basketball down by 2. Dave Scott gets the pass away. Reyes nowhere to go with the baseline. Mikalecki. Into the corner. Here's Reyes. Short with a 3. Rebound on the run. Grabbed by McLean. Here comes the Bulldogs. And a good decision by Adama. Tip pass. Still gets to Robinson. He's made a couple of threes this third quarter. One was about 45 minutes ago, and the other was not lodged about 3 minutes ago. He'll try another one. Mark it down, everybody. Right there in the book, please.
He's on fire from that spot, right in the middle of the floor, and he's got really good range. With his length, he can get that shot off at will.
He was scoreless the first half. He now has 9 in this quarter. Very nice finish. Scooped in with the left hand by Dave Scott. Bulldogs by 3, 2 minutes to play, third quarter. McLean, the pull-up. And the rebound to Scott. 3 would tie it up for the Trojan. Scott, a burst of speed. Shot, though, blocked out of bounds by Christian Adama, the 6'4" sophomore. Stays with Garner.
And I'll tell you what, this game is so much fun. Just the competition that we're watching out on the floor. These guys, they're trying to will to a victory, and with all the stops and starts, you just admire what the kids are playing.
Yeah, that's a big foul right there. Robinson has made 3 threes in this quarter, basically the entire offense for the Bulldogs. That's his 4th foul, and he'll check out. We'll take an update of the points in the paint. Sponsored by NCDPS. 24-16 the Garner edge. That shot blocked again by Anaba. And we get a foul in the backcourt before a 2-on-1. Christian Anaba, sophomore, barely played in the first half. 2 well-timed blocks on the defensive end in this 3rd quarter for Southeast.
He had a wrist injury. He's come back this week. Playing through the pain, making an impact. Good job reading the shot. Going in there, timing it perfectly.
Minute 33 left in the 3rd. 48-45 Southeast Raleigh. They will finish runner-up to Garner in the Greater News regardless of the outcome. But can they pick up the big win on the road on senior night at the regular season champions? Out of the corner, Scott. Too long. Offensive rebound grab by the Bulldogs. Into the corner for Alford. Finds a little bit of room. Hands it off and dropped in beautifully by Jeremiah Grantham.
Alford, unselfish, brought the defender up. And the no-look pass over for an easy 2.
Oh, and Anaba feeling it on the defensive end with a couple of blocks. Rushed into the passing lane. Tried to tip it away, but called for the foul.
5, Christian Anaba, his 2nd.
2nd on Anaba.
6 team foul.
And the final non-shooting for Garner. Under a minute for the 3rd. Kick out Winder, ball fake. Reyes knifing through. Oh, how did that go down? How did Reyes make that shot? He was sandwiched by defenders, punished to the ground, and still gets it to go.
What an effort and a focus. Reyes goes up, refusing to be denied. He's played so hard tonight, able just to lay it in with 2 defenders coming over.
That's 9 tonight for Reyes. And he'll shoot 1. 45 seconds left in the 3rd. Back at the NC 529 free throw line. Never too late or too early to start saving for education. Free throw in and out, no good. Rebound to the Bulldogs. And a foul up near midcourt. This will be charged against Reyes.
Third team foul.
And Jay just had a brief word with the AD here.
Yep.
Garner, something we need to know?
He was just making sure we were still good for the post-game interview after the ball game. So.
Yep. Assuming there is a post-game and people here in the gymnasium. We hope that's the case. Garner down 3. 30 seconds left in the 3rd. Alford plays it to the foul line. This is McLean. Trap on the baseline. The kick out for 3. That's no good. Scott keeps the rebound alive. Right into the hands of Grantham, and he's denied at the rim. 13 seconds left. How about the timing there by Blums?
Blums just reads it. He eyes it up, and that wingspan just swats it away.
And it comes to McLean. He's open for 3. And the rebound, Nicolecki. 9 seconds left. They play it quickly ahead. This is Scott looking for room. Scoops it. That's partially blocked with 3 seconds. A chance here for Alford. Racing to the rim. Misses the layup with the horn. Would have counted. We are through the longest 3rd quarter in North Carolina high school basketball history. Southeast Raleigh up 3. 8 minutes remain when we come back. Fourth quarter about to begin from Garner High School. The regular season Greater News champion Garner Trojans trailing by 3. They've led just a couple of minimal times in this game. Southeast Raleigh has led almost the whole way. With a melee in the stands midway through the 3rd, that led to about a half-hour delay. About half of the gymnasium was emptied. The other half remained. A couple of further announcements have been made, but we are now ready for the fourth quarter. Garner trailing by 3, 50-47. Glad you were with us, making West Shore Home High School Hoops presented by Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, a part of your Friday nights. Last night of the regular season. Garner basketball down by 3. Into the quarter. This is Tayshawn Winter. Ties things up. 15 seconds into the final quarter. Talk it out, NC. Three-pointer made by Whitner. Tough spot to be trapped in the corner. They throw out a leaping grab. Had to come to it behind the back dribble on McLean. The hand back to McLean. Misses what would have been a highlight layup. Quickly down the floor. There is Whitner. Foul. Actually, no, not a foul. Whistle. He was on the end line. Out of bounds to the Bulldogs. Here comes McLean for the Bulldogs. 50-50. Scott across the lane. Ball got held in his hand, and hand got on top of that basketball by Garner. Possession arrow keeps it with the Bulldogs. Very nice interior defense by Garner.
Playing physical, tough, down low. Multiple hands swatting at the ball, just making it difficult to drive into the paint.
That's Gabe Scott that did the deed right there, number 12. Here's Alford. Out of the corner, Grantham. 9 points in the game for Alford. Reed leads the Bulldogs with 10. Tipped away, retrieved by Scott. One of the more patient offensive sets we've seen all night. Here's McLean. Batted pass in the lane, grabbed though by Gibbs. He'll restart in, attack 3 defenders, and it's an offensive foul on the Bulldogs.
Number 2 for Michalecki, second charge. Ken Blum's just talked about his toughness, his heart, everything he does for this team, sets up, gets the call.
Substitution for the Trojans, number 10, Chris Crudup. And number 22.
Blum's back on the floor. Michalecki took some contact below the belt, taking that charge, so he's crumbled over a little bit in some pain at the end of the Garner bench. He's actually going to head back toward the locker room for a moment. Garner basketball looking for the lead. Blum's handed off somehow and got through. And the easy layup by Crudup. 18 points to lead all scorers for Chris Crudup. Blum challenges the shot, altered it. And we get a quick whistle. Tie up. Garner basketball this time. Well, you almost get the sense the officials are being just a little bit quicker than they normally would, just because of the circumstances that we saw about a half hour ago.
Well, taking control of this ball game, making sure nothing gets out of hand.
And again, the incident we had in that third quarter had nothing to do with the players, the coaches. Blum's lost it, a steal. Grantham slip, Blum's blocks it from behind, and another jump ball call. Blum's got right on top of that effort by Grantham, and the whistle was blown. Good call.
Good call. Great job by the referee.
I mean, that ball just froze in his hand.
And it wasn't a block. It froze there, like you said. That is a jump ball. Accurate.
Bulldog basketball, and a whistle just before the inbounds, and we're going to have a foul. And is that going to go on the Bulldogs? Yes, it's going to go on Preston Scott. It is tough right now for fans, coaches, players to maintain decorum.
Yeah.
They've done their best since we resumed, but it's so hard when you have a rivalry game, tight game, and still about 6 minutes to go. Bulldog basketball. Spinning, nearly losing it was Alford, and finally does. Here comes Garner the other way. Crudup, pass to the corner. This is a 3 from Whitner. Long rebound, Alford. 2-on-3, tripped up a bit. That shot is not going to count. It's a foul on the floor on Garner. Excellent finish. Tayshawn Whitner the foul.
Southeast Raleigh has pushed the ball at the right times tonight. That's a correct call. It's a foul, but it wasn't in the act of shooting. And the Bulldogs, though, they wanted to slow down this game. They want this game to be in the 50s and the 60s, and another foul.
And before the Bulldogs could even inbound it, we get an offensive foul against Preston Scott. I tell you what, Jay, they emptied about half the stadium at the end of that melee. It almost feels louder now than it was before the fight.
It does. Everybody's involved, and it feels like the tensions, are even higher because of what we've seen and of what this game means.
I mean, you do almost feel like you're stretching that rubber band as far as it goes before it snaps. And again, the people who remain inside this gymnasium had zero to do with what we saw happen in that third quarter. But the intensity just cannot be denied right now. Blums goes opposite. Out of the corner. Blums rebounds the air ball, gets twisted to the floor. And again, you can barely hear the whistles in this gym now. And we'll get a foul on Southeast Raleigh.
And Patrick, I'll tell you, like, the players, this is physical, and you're talking about the tension rising. The players have been composed. I mean, the players they're fighting and battling, but they're very mature out there playing hard.
And how about Charles Harris?
Coaches,
The AD for the Garner Trojans was just acting as the ball kid with the towel in his hand, wiping up the perspiration on the floor.
These referees as well. I mean, everybody involved here out on the court doing their job to maintain.
Garner by 2, 52-50. And one more from the Popeyes free throw line. Love that chicken from Popeyes. 1 of 2 for Blums. He has 4 points in the game. And here comes the full court trap by Garner. Grantham wants to get it in the hands of one of his ball handlers, and that is Josh Alford out at midcourt. Bulldogs down 3. One of their biggest deficits of the night. Jump stop, hangs and misses over Blums. Rebound tip back, grabbed by Crudup. Up ahead it comes Darius Whitner. Throws it up, and it's an offensive foul on Garner.
Garner pushing the pace, going up, gets away from that
16 foul, substitutions for Garner, number 1.
call there.
16 foul on Garner, player control. Southeast Raleigh has committed 10. Bulldog basketball trailing by 3 inside 5 minutes for the 4th. Blums a play off the Nava. Possession's big right now for the Bulldogs. This is Gibbs. The defender smacking his hands. That's Whitner. Seen a lot more deliberate offensive possessions for the Bulldogs as of late. A little crossover, but he carried the basketball. Turnover on Alford to the Bulldogs. Just tried to yo-yo and got under the basketball as he went right hand to left.
Let's see the crossover. There it is. All right, now you look up, 4:23 left on the ball game. Limited possessions here in the game. Each turnover is going to be critical, making sure you make good decisions here to close out this ball game.
Ball in Cameron Reyes' hands. Jumps one back out front. Blums towers over everybody. Dumps it to the post, and a reach-in charge against Nava. That'll be number 3 on the Southeast Raleigh sophomore. But again now, with every foul for the Bulldogs, you're putting Garner at the line for 2 free throws.
And for Garner, a really good shooting team. You're going to have an opportunity, especially if you can drive, attack, get those fouls racked up. Easy opportunities at the free throw line.
And Crudup 7 of 8 tonight from the line. First of 2 from the Popeyes free throw line. Love that chicken at Popeyes. Free throw, no good. Popeyes open at 11 p.m. on a Friday night.
I'm hungry.
Naba back to the bench. Ethan Reed, number 4, is returned to the floor for the Bulldogs. 1 of 2 for Crudup. He has 19. Garner leads by 4, 54-50. And that inbounds pass deflected out of bounds, and it will stay with Garner. So the Trojans force an inbounds turnover.
It's Garner pressure causing the ball to ricochet.
And that's going to go against Garner. Player whistles are coming extremely quick.
Being called closer here in the second half. Each team has picked up their physical play.
And this will take us to a media timeout. 3:48 left in the fourth quarter. 54-50 Garner. Scholar Athlete is brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson. Injured in the car wreck, call the heavy hitters. Well, we've had some heavy hitters here tonight, have we not? 54-50, Garner on top of Southeast Raleigh. 3:48 left in the fourth quarter. Folks, there's been too much to review. Well, we're glad you're with us. Should be an exciting finish. Bulldog basketball down by 4, and here comes Naz Gibbs attacking hard against the coach's son. Nowhere to go, leaves it down the lane, and Preston Scott can't finish. And here come the Trojans. They have not had a lead bigger than this until now. Garner by 6. 3.5 to go.
And Southeast Raleigh throughout the night has always had a response, always found a way to get a bucket after Garner goes on a run.
There's McLean, the runner with the left hand from short distance away, a little bit strong. Rebound to Garner. And the Trojans now can start to pull away a little bit. Teardrop is missed. Battle for the rebound, and that will be another tie-up. And the arrow belongs to Garner. This is now a very big defensive stand for the Bulldogs.
And for Garner here, 6-point lead, 3:07 left on the clock. I expect them to spread the floor, 4 out, and use some clock here for Southeast Raleigh to foul.
Southeast Raleigh, when we last saw John Robinson, number 13, made 3 threes in the third quarter. Southeast Raleigh has not scored in this fourth quarter. They have a 3-point lead. Garner has scored all 9, and Robinson is back on the floor with 4 fouls. But the Bulldog, they need to stop, and then they need some offense.
And Garner's going to use the clock. Ken Blum's saying spread out, stay patient.
Blums will kill the dribble. Hook one over to Winter. He'll pull up on the baseline and score. Garner by 8. They have scored all 11 of the fourth quarter points. Turn a 3-point deficit into an 8-point lead.
The Bulldogs need a bucket here.
And they have to look, I would imagine, for John Robinson. Here he is, but it's an illegal screen set by Robinson. He's done. And a technical foul has also been called on Robinson, and he is getting a mouthful from the official before he is escorted to the sideline for the Bulldogs.
And he's coming out of the ball game.
Boy, that official is staring him down. So Robinson is fouled out at the 2:27 mark. And then disagree with the call, threw the ball right against the back of Tayshawn Winter. That was the technical foul.
And how about Whitner there? Not reacting.
Yeah. Yep.
Good job by him being mature and composed and not retaliating.
So Robinson, the sophomore, fouls out and then compounds with a technical foul. And again, that's really the first bit of unsportsmanlike conduct we've seen in this game, and we've seen a whole lot more unsportsmanlike conduct in the stands than we have on the floor. But again, when you're trying to pick up a big win against the regular season champ in their building, scoreless this fourth quarter, he's your big scoring option. You can't have that happen.
Well, and he went to Garner last year. Now at Southeast Raleigh. And Garner, credit Whitner and everybody over on that sideline. Nobody reacted. Everybody staying focused on what they've got to do for the Trojans.
You're right, and that is also a vital piece of the story to tell. So again, the foul by Robinson, then the technical foul on Robinson, the former Garner Trojan from last year. And now we are going to have a tsunami of free throws here for the Garner Trojans, and suddenly they can go up double figures and basically salt this game away.
At the line shooting for Garner, number 21.
So it'll be Tayshawn Whitner, who has 7 points in the game. He'll shoot a pair. And Garner's defense, they have thrown a shutout in this fourth quarter against the Southeast Raleigh Bulldog offense. So 1 of 2 from the Popeyes free throw line for Whitner. And now a timeout is going to be taken by Charles Graves and the Bulldogs. 59-50 is our score. And Robinson is not going to be in the huddle with his teammates for the Bulldogs. He's talking with one of the assistant coaches at the end of the bench. Garner has outscored Southeast Raleigh 12-0 this fourth quarter. And while they take a listen to their head coach, let's get to our West Shore home play of the game tonight, Jay. Cameron Reyes, big spark for the Trojans tonight.
And Reyes turned it on here in the fourth quarter and won, taking the contact. He's been huge for Garner. So athletic, his ability to finish is top level. He's been important, key for them throughout all 20 wins this year and on the doorstep of win number 21.
West Shore home, convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. So after the technical and the 2 free throws, which were split, Garner basketball nearing 2 minutes to go. The dumb down pass in from front of the feed from Blums, and that should just about do it.
And they get the turnover. Blums, no look pass. The press again pays off.
And a foul by McLean right at midcourt. Garner now has scored 14 straight in this fourth quarter. The Bulldogs have been blanked by that man's defense. And free throws coming for Reyes. This is a night nobody will forget. One more from the Popeyes free throw line. I mean, I'd like to forget tonight, but I'm not going to be able to. I could buy stock in Advil after this one. One more coming up for Reyes. Misses them both. Rebound to Stroud. And it will stay with the Bulldogs. Foul goes on Garner. And one more look. Final update of the NCDPS points, the paint, Jay.
Well, Garner's been able to slash movement without the basketball to get into the paint area and really dominate. It hasn't been post up. It's been guys using their athletic ability, flashing, unselfish passing, and they've really turned it on. That first quarter, they're shooting from the outside. They've made the adjustment.
North Carolina Department of Public Safety be a champion for victims. First point of the night for the freshman Stroud. That is the first point for the Bulldogs in this fourth quarter, taking almost 6 minutes. Offensive rebound offered. The kick out, McLean for 3. And the rebound to Crudup. And now the Bulldogs down by 10 inside 2 minutes. Any foul puts Garner at the line for 2. Mikalecki drives baseline, meets some resistance. Will we see the Bulldogs foul, or will the white flag begin to get raised? They've taken about 20 seconds off the clock. And now it's a game of keep away for the Trojans. Fastball poked away, steal by Alford. Here come the Bulldogs. Alford attacks, stops. Couldn't finish. Great defense by Crudup to force a stop and an off-balance shot instead of a hard attack to the rim. And the arrow is going to keep it with the Bulldogs with 1:18 left.
Well, for Southeast Raleigh, once you gain possession, you don't have to shoot the 3. You have to go quickly though regardless, you can get all the way to the hoop, take the 2. If not, go ahead and shoot the 3. But here's the physical play down low, just fighting for this ball.
And Alford right there looked like he might have taken maybe a finger into the eye. A little slow to get up. Walking with his head down, jersey pulled over around that the nose and left eye as he walks over to the sideline for the Bulldogs. Let's hope he's all right.
Number 12, Gabriel Scott.
So they called a jump ball, and it's going to be Bulldog basketball. Charles Graves pleading with one of the officials. I think he felt like a foul should have been called instead. Southeast Raleigh down 10. McLean goes opposite. Stroud. Boy, good elevation there by Stroud. And a timeout by the Bulldogs, trailing by 8 with 1:09 left.
Charles Graves calls a quick timeout, brings the team over, and now you can set up your press defense.
Well, Jay, if somebody asks you tomorrow, hey, how was the game last night? In 30 seconds, what do you tell them?
Well, I don't know where I would start, but what I would say is a lot of outside factors influence this game. I was impressed by the composure of the leadership and the players and the play out on the floor. This game means a lot to these kids, and that's what it's all about, and they put on a good show for us.
The Bulldogs down by 8, 1:09 to go. And right now, if you're a head coach, you're thinking, turn them over. If not, quick foul, because now you know the white flag's not raised, and you're sending Garner to the free throw line and open for a miss or two. Ethan Reed is the top scorer tonight for the Bulldogs with 10. Alford has 9. Robinson just fouled out along with the technical. He also had 9. Now Garner comes off the sideline. It was a rocky beginning for the Garner Trojans. Couldn't make a shot. Turned the basketball over, but the Bulldogs just did not extend to a big lead. They did lead by 7 midway through the second quarter, but trailed by 2 at the break, and then we seesawed back and forth through the third. Had about a 35-minute delay because of a fight in the stands. Then we had about another 5-minute delay later in that third quarter with a scorebook error that was finally recovered. And a half empty or half full, depends on your disposition, gymnasium. And the opportunity to watch the final quarter and a half of this one as Blums heads the Popeye free throw line, and that is what the Bulldogs are looking for here. One miss, perhaps another, down by 8. There's still plenty of time to recover the deficit.
For the Bulldogs to stretch this game out as long as you can, you're going to have to execute on the offensive end. Then look for that turnover. If not, foul immediately.
So Blums makes 1 of 2. 3-possession game.
For the Trojans, number 3, Tanner McElhinney.
And now for the Bulldogs, where's the quick scoring coming from? Would imagine it's going to be Reed, number 4. He's out of midcourt. Scott gets it into Gibbs. And he has a ton of speed against McElhinney. See if it's clear out the floor for him. And a timeout taken by the Bulldogs. And Charles Graves is getting on his sophomore Nas Gibbs, who was just kind of bringing it over the timeline and taking too much time off the clock. He's clapping his hands saying, what are you doing? Time is our enemy right now. Need a sense of urgency. So Graves will dial up the play here with 51 seconds.
For the Bulldogs here, I think you've got to get Manuel McLean, your leading scorer, get him a look. Again, you don't have to have the 3. If it's there, take it. The biggest key is go quickly. You've got to immediately make a decision, try to get points on the board, but the clock that's your opponent right now.
I mean, that is par for the course. Nothing tonight has gone quickly. Right? We came on the air at 7 o'clock, didn't tip off this game until about 7:25, and it's been downhill ever since. But you mentioned it several times post-incident. Credit to all the players and both coaching staffs for maintaining their composure, maintaining their decorum, their sportsmanship for the ruckus that was going on behind us in the stands. Bulldogs will get it in. This is Gibbs. Defender falls. It's going to be an offensive foul on Southeast Raleigh. And Charles Graves is walking to the end of the bench. I thought he was going to go straight into the hallway into the bus. He did not care for this call. So no bucket, offensive foul. That was exactly the play that Graves had drawn up. They will wipe up the floor, and it's Garner basketball. Now, that's a violation right there on Garner, because Crudup, after the offensive foul, you're not allowed to run the baseline.
And now for Southeast Raleigh, you wanted that call, you didn't get it. You get the ball back here with the turnover. You have to make Garner pay. Has
to be a quick hitter here. Preston Scott fakes, settles in. 45 seconds left. Back to Scott. Mikulecki right in his face, forces one up off the rim. Rebound comes to Gabe Scott. Down the floor, Mikulecki. The reverse layup with spin. Some panache to put this one away. Garner by 11. And that's going to count, plus a foul. Stops the clock with 26 seconds left.
Southeast Raleigh still hanging in. But Garner, this lead is just going to be tough to overcome. Gibbs hustling ahead and again focusing through the contact for the and one.
Back to the Popeyes free throw line. Love that chicken from Popeyes. 64-55 Garner. They beat Southeast Raleigh 88-63 back on January 13th. But this one will not have come easy. Not in the least. Free throw by Gibbs, missed. Mikulecki the rebound. And the Bulldogs will look to foul if they can. Long down court, Mikulecki. The jump stop. Passes it out. Some more clock winding down. 15 seconds left, and there's the foul in their midcourt. Taken by Grantham. So Garner leads by 9. And we didn't talk about this earlier in the third quarter. After the fight, after the scorebook incident, Charles Harris, the AD here for Garner, has been everywhere. He's been monitoring the stands. He's been breaking up fights. He's been cleaning up perspiration on the floor. After all of that and everything he's been focused on tonight, he came over to you, Jay, to ask if we're still okay with the trophy present. That should be the last thing on his mind, but he still had that on his to-do list to make sure that we were going to be okay and still doing the trophy presentation. And now the seniors, Tanner Mikulecki, exits for the final time on this floor in the regular season. Hugs with his teammates, hugs with his coaches. And Mikulecki just 5 points tonight in his final regular season game, but he's had a heck of a senior season. Three-pointer in and out. 6 seconds left. Up ahead to Crudup looking for the exclamation and run down from behind by Emmanuel McLean. And that should be an intentional foul. That's just not a foul you take here at this stage. And I don't think they called that an intentional foul. Didn't see a lot of play on the ball. But that's just a play where you let Crudup have his moment and head to the bus. 2 seconds left. And the Garner Trojans are going to wrap up the Greater News 13-1. Their only loss to Fuquay Arena by 3. And they will open up the conference tournament 7 o'clock right here on Monday night against Corinth Holdings.
The quick turnaround, and we're now at postseason play. So everything's different starting next week.
So the Bulldogs will trigger in. 2 seconds left. And the final shot on this final night of the regular season, and it is over. The Garner Trojans win the Greater News, finish 13-1, 67-55 is the final. The defense leads the way in the fourth quarter, Jay.
Well, and Garner just came on in the second half. You're right, the defense creating turnovers, the fast break opportunities they were able to execute on, gave them the lead, and then they were able to carry that momentum throughout this game, the stoppage in play. Huge victory in a rivalry game.
All right, trophy presentation is on the way. Garner sweeps the season series with the Bulldogs. An unforgettable night in Garner. Final score, Trojans 67, Bulldogs 55. Well, the regular season is now over, and thankfully so is this one. What a crazy night in Garner. Trojans will wrap up the regular season 13-1 within the Greater News, 21-3 as they defeat Southeast Raleigh, one of their fiercest rivals, 67-55. Patrick Enos with you as the gymnasium begins to empty out. And the Garner Trojans, fifth-year head coach Kent Blums is I think about ready right now as Jay Sohnhalter down on the court and ready to present the head coach and the Garner Trojans tonight's High School Hoops trophy.
Coach, you saw adversity tonight, a lot of stops and starts in this ball game, things that your team had nothing to do with, but you were able to maintain composure and find a way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's proud of our guys for being able to overcome, all the, like you said, adversity. It's just kind of what do you do when something happens? What do you do when adversity hits? We talk about that a lot, and we obviously came through and we were, we subdued it, or we took care of it.
Well, I was impressed, especially in that first half. You guys had a deficit you had to come back from. 20 wins, now 21. And then the stops, then the technical foul in the fourth quarter, and you still stayed focused.
Yeah.
What enabled you to have that mindset?
Well, these guys, we really wanted to focus on just playing. Let's play, let's just go and do what we've done all year. And, that first half, I mean, give credit to Southeast. They gave us a dang run, and they were very, very good, well prepared, well coached. And, we battled. We had to battle. And, we just were lucky to come out on the other side of that with all the craziness that happened. And I hope we just learned something from it and got better.
Yeah, well, we were talking on the broadcast, just the maturity of all the leaders with the coaches, the athletic director, Charles Harris, everybody helped stop the fight, your players. You guys finished out this ball game, 21 wins, conference champs regular season. Next week, conference tournament. What's the next step for your team?
It's game by game. You don't want to look past anything. It's a big deal. Conference tournament. Everybody's gunning for us. Everybody wants to win the conference tournament. We won the regular season. So now we got to take care of it. It's not going to be easy, and that's the kind of thing you saw tonight. This conference is tough, and so we've got to make sure that we take care of business.
Well, very impressed by your team. You guys earned the High School Hoops trophy. Congratulations on your win. You deserve it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah! A special one for the Garner Trojans and what they hope will be a special year. 21-3, Greater News regular season champions at 13-1. 67-55 the final score. Garner takes down Southeast Raleigh. All of us like to take a minute and thank all the wonderful folks at West Shore Home who make these games possible for all of our viewers. We'd also like to thank our other great supporters for their contributions to our high school hoops right here on WRDC. Air Experts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. myspot.nc.gov. NC 529, Talk It Out NC, the North Carolina Department of Public Services, Popeyes, and Tatum and Atkinson. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators, especially on a night like this, for their continued support. Southeast Raleigh and Garner Magnet High School. Coming up Tuesday, February 21st, we'll be back for the first round of the NCHSAA basketball playoffs. Garner disposes of Southeast Raleigh on a night we will not forget. Greater News regular season champion Trojans defeat the Bulldogs 67-55. For Jay Sohnhalter and our entire crew, Patrick Enos saying so long from Garner. Enjoy your weekend. See you in the postseason.